Welcome to Homestead Reptile, and today I want to talk to you guys about the controversy around the crested gecko diet by Pangea, the growth and breeding formula. So, a few months ago, a group of breeders were basically trading notes back and forth about their geckos having issues. So, some of these issues were infertility, not proper calcification of eggs, weight loss, lethargy, and death. So, what these people all had in common was they were feeding the growth and breeding formula. So they chipped in, put their money in the pot to send out these results to this lab. I think it was like Midwest something lab. Got the results back, and the results were weird. I have to admit they were weird. Now this was just one test, but from this one test, these people went out of their way to test, put their own money to test. It was weird, and it's not cheap to test stuff, people. It's not. So especially in this economy, so they were worried enough to do that. So the analysis of the food was different from what's printed on the bag. So the data didn't match up from the bag, the general analysis of the bag versus the general analysis from the lab. So didn't match up. Then another thing that was reported in that those lab results were looked like there was heavy amounts of metal. So cadmium, it was just like heavy metals. So that's a thing. Now, unfortunately, these results were in the group for about 12, maybe 16 hours. I went to bed and I was going to like take more screenshots and just gather more information for a video, and they were deleted. And then the moderator of that group said if anyone has these, they should delete them. Trouble, and there was a picture of a person shushing. And then that post got deleted. And then pretty much anything that had to deal with this got deleted. So it seemed like a larger entity came over and kind of squished them, which doesn't look good. That's what it looks like. Because they paid for the lab results. The lab results got removed. Something weird's going on. It's just weird. So one thing I will say in the favor of Pangea, a lot of people use their brand. A lot of people use their food. Huge breeders that this is their livelihood uses their food, and they're not saying they're having any problems. One thing I will say against Pangea is their instructions on the growth and breeding formula are not good. So it doesn't. So their instructions, and I'll place it right here. When you look on their website, you look directly at the bag. It's like feed multiple times for all life stages. It doesn't say, should I feed a adult that's not breeding? Should this be a consistent part of their diet? It's like, it doesn't say. It says basically you can feed it all life stages, and it's a complete diet, and you can pretty much have your gecko live off of the breeding formula. Do I think it would be a good idea to have an adult gecko living off the breeding formula? Hell no. That stuff is fat. It's just like it's having an adult dog living off of puppy food. You're going to have a chunky blimp dog. And I have seen like an uptick of just really, really fat geckos lately. I think that comes from overfeeding, but I think it comes from overfeeding Pangea growth and breeding formula. That's my conspiracy theory. I think most of these super fat geckos are eating a massive amount of the breeding formula. Now, for me, I don't use the breeding formula. My geckos don't like it. I don't like the ingredients. I'd rather just feed them more insects. It's a waste of money for me. I just don't use it at all. I'd rather have my geckos grow a little slower than become fat, square blobs. And there's a lot of fat geckos out there. So I don't know if the Pangea growth and breeding formula is actually harming geckos. There are some concerned breeders that were concerned about it. And again, the results got taken down. Pangea hasn't mentioned anything. We don't know. A lot of people use it and haven't had a problem. Could it just be the combination of people overfeeding it and then feeding a lot of insects with calcium and causing problems? We just don't know. And for me, as a small breeder who has not a ton of geckos, I wasn't using this formula to begin with. And as a concerned pet keeper, I'm actually, for until more information comes out, just to be on the safe side, because I'm a little paranoid. I've been around when large pet food companies have done shady stuff and basically murdered pets. So, on the safe side for me, I'm just switching to another brand for a while. Until more information comes out, I'm not going to be using Pangea. I just I just won't. I'm just going to, this is just for me. I'm paranoid and I'm always more worried about my pet's health and their well being. Again, I don't dislike Pangea. I don't like Pangea. It's just, I'm neutral to it. If the results would have just stayed and they didn't get taken down and all the stuff didn't get scrubbed and didn't get squished right away, I would just think it's just, who knows? And I would probably still be using Pangea, because all of this happened. It made me just a little nervous for my geckos. I was never a heavy Pangea feeder to begin with. So if you're like me, there's other brands out there. Um, so I'm just going to be, for my own sanity, to just not bet on something going wrong. I'm just not going to feed Pangea for a while. And it might just be a year, a few months until Pangea comes out and says something or something is done. But there's some weird stuff going on in that. I personally, makes me nervous. I've seen this happen with dog food, cat food, and there is a fish food company I absolutely love, quality food, but they had a contaminant come in, and when people were feeding their fish, it was killing their fish. And they didn't say anything about it for a long time, and people were just having dead fish. So, again, like and subscribe and tell me what you think.